Good afternoon, everyone, and good evening to some of the audience. Firstly, I'm quite delighted to participate in this event along with many dignitaries, eminent speakers, and participants today. Um, uh, so perhaps to at the outset, just about what we do. We are an international specialist food and agribusiness consulting firm. With over 300 sector experts in the global reach, and we cover the entire value chain. And we've been in the consulting business in the specialized area for over 16 years now. Perhaps the topic is quite interesting to understand how GCC is coming along with the challenges around food security and food supply chain systems. Um, as you notice, if you look at between 2013 and 2018, and the 5 years average, there's a heavy reliance of food imports in the GCC, which basically GCC countries are left vulnerable to any disruptions in the global food supply chain, which is naturally complex ecosystem characterized by a number of challenges. And some of these challenges include fluctuations in the global food prices, a growing number of trade regulations, and high risk of food contamination and safety, in addition to reduced quality of agriculture products. As this being the problem statement in the GCC, as a response to the mentioned challenges, and in order to achieve food security, the GCC governments have implemented a well-defined strategies. Perhaps it could be, split into two different sides. One is the internal action points and the external action points. At the internal level, they're the main three main areas. One is increasing partnership along the supply chain in terms of collaborations and mandates with different agribusiness houses and farmers and investment agencies. The second one is expanding sustainable domestic production by leveraging on technology, which is AgTech. And we've seen that in the previous speaker talking about the initiatives in the UAE in the AgTech space. The third one is strengthening the logistics and transport infrastructure to facilitate supply and minimize wastage. Be it if you look at Jebel Ali Port in UAE, or Sohar Port or Jeddah Islamic Port, and so on. There's a huge with world-scale infrastructure and so on. So while on the other side, the external action points, the main two pathways to secure food supply at the international level. One is the overseas investment by acquiring land banks, be it in Africa and parts of Asia and so on. The second one is increasing worldwide economic connections through diplomatic relations and establishing and investing in agriculture and food companies overseas. Perhaps as while these are the action points, looking at the action plan to build resilient food system was built on three principles. One is secure, manage, and control the food systems. The first was to secure a stable, efficient, diversified food supply from foreign and local production sources. There's a lot of work done in terms of workshops with different stakeholders like farmers, agribusiness houses, and so on, providing free services to ensure and improve the productivity of the farms, and mandates to different agencies for investments within the country and outside the country. The second one was to manage the supply by improving the local infrastructure, be it in terms of the strategic food storages, processing plants. We've noticed in the presentation in the morning about Port Hamad in Qatar, about the strategic and storage project, which is quite interesting and exciting to know such details. And the third one is to ensure the food safety in the supply through robust control systems. There's a uniform food safety policy in the GCC, rapid alert system, and to be more efficient in the whole process. So while as a result of all these actions taken in the GCC, perhaps there are three sectors which notice significant or at least noticeable self-sufficiency. That is dairy, poultry, livestock production. be it in terms of better management of local sourcing, reduction in costs, higher margins, knowledge sharing, animal welfare, mortality rates, decreasing mortality rates, and so on. So it is, I should say, definitely helped GCC to overcome these challenges, and this is the outcome that we can look at now. Looking at what happened in the GCC as the best practice, and looking ahead in terms of what's a key learning for other countries in the IOFS region, perhaps logistics and infrastructure are crucial for sustainable food supply chain. These are the practices adopted in the GCC and to strengthen the food supply chain, and definitely provides a positive lead for other countries. Perhaps to look at the countries at the early stage of planning and building an efficient food supply chain, I must consider prioritizing these three areas. One is building logistics and infrastructure capabilities, focusing on certainly better road connectivity, effective transportation, strategic storage, and so on. Second is promoting collaborations among the supply chain, be it in terms of knowledge sharing or cooperative systems or skill transfer programs, to basically empower the stakeholders across the value chain and supply chain. The third is building strong food safety control. This really helps in terms of minimizing the contamination and ensuring consumer safety. That's precisely what we have to talk about. What's happening in the GCC and perhaps what's the learning for other countries in the IOFS region. Thank you.